Hi everybody. I don't know about you, but my brain has already kicked full gear into school mode. So if yours is not there yet, save this video somewhere, come back to it when you want to think about the school year. My strategy for relaxing right now is knowing that I am as prepared as I can be for whatever comes up this year. So I wanted to share an idea today that I had for the classroom. We know that students can't share materials in the classroom, and we know there's also a possibility that at any point we could end up doing distance learning. So my thought for my reading phonics classroom was to have a multisensory kit for each student that they can access daily, stored in a large baggie. And in my room, I have those rainbow carts with 10 drawers that roll. So in my classroom, I have a cart for each class and a drawer for each student labeled in vinyl with their name, which I think will come in handy this year because then they can each just access their own drawer. And I'm thinking maybe even for ease, they could just pull their drawer out and take it with them to their desk. But in the drawer, I wanted to have a kit of items that we might regularly use in our lessons that they can access that's just theirs. They're the only person that uses it. They pull it out at the beginning of class, take it to their desk with them or table or whatever. They can use it during the lesson. They put it back in the drawer at the end of the period. And then if we are called at any point to do distance learning, which is very likely, they can just grab their baggie and put it in their backpack and take it home. And then they have all the materials they'll need for us to continue doing multisensory lessons over video, over Google Meet or Zoom or whatever. So I'm going to show you my bag today. It's not completely finished. There are a few things I need to print or add or whatever. But this is what it looks like right now. I'm going to flip over to my document camera here. This is a close-up of my take-home bag. This is a big baggie I had at home. I actually ordered some big clear ones to use and share with some friends. This is what it looks like. They can grab this out of their drawer. It will fit really nicely into the rainbow cart drawers. So I'm going to pull out items one at a time. First, I have, let's see here, let me put that back there. I have a baggie with some different items we might use for a multisensory lesson. My red crayon. We use these for red words with the red screen. I have a couple of Expo markers. I actually found some cheaper ones on Amazon, but this is what I had for now. So I put it in there. I put 2 in because never fail, one's going to run out. A vis-a-vis marker they could use to label things, and I'll show you something we might use that for in a moment. Pipe cleaners. So we might use pipe cleaners for a blending lesson, or they can shape them into letters or use them to shape other things if we're doing vocabulary. So a few pipe cleaners. One of the tiny little things of Play-Doh that you get in the birthday party kits, you can buy them 15 to a bag. So I would get a few bags and put one color. I consider these types of things multitaskers because they can take this Play-Doh and roll it out and have a very multisensory spelling practice for red words or any words, really. They can use it to create something if we're doing vocabulary, to create some examples. It also works really well as a stress ball. And right now, kids are stressed about school, and they will be stressed about school. So we would definitely highlight that they need permission while we are doing a lesson in class or online to take out the Play-Doh and use it in that manner. But it gives a good option because I don't know what they have at home and I can't just take fidgets out of my basket and hand them to them this year, so they get Play-Doh. Another item, very similar. My students are gaga over kinetic sand. They love kinetic sand. For some reason, especially my boys, they love kinetic sand. And I had one bag unopened in my cabinet. It was a 3-pound bag. I'll have to get a little more. But I used my coffee scooper and I did a little scoop into a little ketchup container for each kiddo. This is the beach sand, so it's kind of rough, has a little texture to it. But my daughter confirmed, she's 12, it makes a good stress ball, but we could also use it to demonstrate some different things, use adjectives, describe, use our ly suffixes. All right. Next, I have these at home. I have like 100 pack of dice. Why? Don't ask. I don't know. So I was going to put dice in each kiddo's bag. And that way, if we're doing a game online or in class, you know, I can't pass the dice around. There are digital virtual dice, but sometimes a kid really just wants to roll the dice and know what comes up. So that was an addition from what I had. Now, these seem like strange additions. A paper clip or two. I plan to put some spinner templates in their bag. And this way, if you've never known this tip, if you have a spinner template with the sections, little triangles with colors or numbers or whatever, I'd like to laminate one dry erase so they could write different things on the sections. Might be sounds, letters, numbers, whatever. If you don't have a spinner, you can always take a pencil and a paper clip and use it as a spinner. Low tech. And then the last thing that I have is a metal ring. And what I plan to do with this metal ring is cut some index cards in half, punch them and put them on here so they can make their root word little index cards, and it won't they won't lose them. It'll already be ready to go. Boom, boom. At home, in the classroom, whatever. All right, 2 more items. These felt squares, I trained in the visualizing and verbalizing program, and in that program we use felt squares to kind of remember and verbalize key parts of a story. You could also use some felt squares as erasers for a whiteboard, or you could use them as Elkonin boxes. Phonics for Structures doesn't use those, but some other Orton Gillingham programs do. So if that's something you do, you can use them like that. And then I would not go out and buy a bunch of Legos for kiddos, but I had 1 bucket of Legos in the classroom. So I just divvied it up into 50 bags. It's like a random small thing of Legos because I love to use Legos for different lessons. I know in vocabulary, when I do struct, I have them construct something out of Legos. For just about any root word or skill, you can bring in some Legos and have them demonstrate something. And they love that hands-on. It gives them an opportunity to really multisensory, hands-on kind of build something. And most of them love Legos. So I just have maybe 10 pieces, 6 to 10 pieces of Legos in each bag, random bag, and that would be a little bit of fun. So those are a lot of the multi-sensory things. I put those all in just a quart Ziploc. They fit nicely in my large bag with the 2 other things that I have. Now, this is one of my favorites. I know I've heard other instructors say that they like to use like the liquid reflector glass beads. And I didn't want to put in an order to liquid reflector. Sorry, this is going to be loud. It seals well. But I found the glass micro beads at Joann's. And they're just tiny. They're glass, which to me is easy to sanitize. And then this is a container They're pricier online, but at Sam's you get 25 of them for, I think, $8.98. It's just the Snap Pack food prep boxes. And they're not huge. And really, you don't even have to fully cover the bottom of this. What I used to put my beads in here was one of those ketchup containers. I used one of these as a scoop and had them about a 1/4 inch from the top. Dump that in here, and it makes a really nice surface. I have a lot of kids who are averse to the sand. They don't like that it's sticky. They don't like the feel. It is a sensory thing. But these are very smooth. And because of the static clean of the container, when I write, I don't get the smooth bottom of the container. A fine layer of beads stays under my finger. And so I get that sensory feedback. It's actually really nice. I love these little glass bead things. I've already made about 25 of these. And they are taking over my room. All right, so instead of a sand tray, this is a take and go. They can each keep one in their bag, in their drawer, bring it to their desk every day for our 3-part drill, for our new introduction of skills, and still have that nice multisensory feedback. But love these containers. You can hear them click closed, and then they're not spilling. You can throw that in a backpack, wherever you want to put it. It's not going to just randomly come open. All right, and the last thing I'm putting in my bags is a poly folder, if I can get my hands on enough poly folders. I need to find a good price on them. I think Walmart's been the cheapest so far. In my poly folder, what I would put in here, I would put my red word sheets so that they can still have that written practice. I don't want everything to be digital. I know in the classroom we're doing blended, we're doing more digital, and I can do more digital. I am feeling okay with doing more digital. I have binge watched distance learning, OG tutoring webinars until my brains are pouring out my ears. But I want them to still do some hands-on. They need that hands-on. So I would put in here like spinner templates I talked about, redwood word paper, anything I want them to be able to write on would go in this folder along with their red word screen. I just bought out the Fayetteville Hobby Lobby. I already had like 30 of them. I just needed about 20 more. I just laminated a piece of paper and made a couple of small flipboards. So these would be great for vowel intensives where they could write the letters on here with that wet erase marker. That works much better on laminated paper than the dry erase. Also in here, I printed these off the members area, the Magic Squares worksheets that go along with the Phonics First and structures. I printed them in a booklet form to save paper, but then each student could have one of these in their folder and work on one as a short little station center each week for that word practice. All right, so I took it out, but I also had a whiteboard in here. I don't have enough whiteboards in my classroom, so I plan to go to Home Depot and they will cut down the large sheets of the white kind of slick surface material. I think the brand was like Educatile or something like that. And I can easily, it's not too expensive to have them cut down into smaller boards for the students to have at home. So when we're online, I'm not like, what are they writing? They don't have anything to write with. They can hold it up and show me, and we can still interact in that way. So that's my kit. I'm excited about it. I hope it works well. If you know me, feel free to email me any feedback and let me know what you're doing as well. We are going to make it through this. Thanks for watching.